Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Informed in 5. Today's guest is Kristen Lape, and she joins me to share information about the Lily Pad and how this unique organization is helping individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities within the community. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Kristen Lape, and I'm with the Lily Pad Foundation, also known to everyone in the community as the Lily Pad. We just wanted to give you a little bit more information if you haven't heard of us. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are in the process of opening a restaurant that will train and employ people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We are located in Ridgeland. We're in the heart of Old Town Ridgeland area, just near the railroad tracks. We are renovating an older building that used to be a coffee shop. Our goal at the Lily Pad, so we say employ and train people. Our goal is to employ individuals. They will be paid while training, but our ultimate goal is to be a ever revolving door and training location. So our goal is to train individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities in the restaurant and hospitality industry, but then help them transition to other businesses in the community. We want them to grow and to leap from the Lily Pad and go into other businesses within their communities. So if someone lives in Brandon, we want to help find a place maybe closer to where they live. If somebody lives in Madison and Clinton, just the surrounding areas. That is our ultimate goal, is to spread these individuals within the community. And that's where the name came from, the Lily Pad. It came from wanting to symbolize a stepping stone. We wanted it to be a way, move from here and go somewhere else. And so that's how the name came about. In our kind of brainstorming ideas is leaping from one lily pad to another, and that's where the name the Lily Pad came from. So the goal, like I said, is to employ and train, but not permanent employment. Let's see, how did we get started? So we're here in 2023. This all started really before the Lily Pad. We started in 2013. In 2012, my daughter was born with Down syndrome. We found the diagnosis out at birth. We were not aware before she was born. She was born late in 2012, and we've always been proactive people wanting to get involved. Right when she was born and before we left the hospital, we were informed about two organizations, the Central Mississippi Down Syndrome Society and the Little Lighthouse of Central Mississippi. So immediately we were put in touch with those two nonprofits, and we got involved. Our daughter attended the Little Lighthouse for several years. So we began doing a fundraiser. Our first fundraiser was in 2013. It was called the Run Up for Downs, and our organization at the time was called Running for Lily. It started out just, my husband was a runner at the time. He wanted to run miles and represent his daughter in Down syndrome awareness. So that's how we started. Our initial fundraisers were for those two organizations. Several years fast forward, that was 2013, fast forward to about 2016. Over the years, we had met another family at the Little Lighthouse, the Elliots. They have a son, Hayden, who also has Down syndrome. They came on board with us, partnered with us, and helped us with our event. Them, along with other families in the community, I said, we have young children. We prepare. We like to be prepared as possible as you can for the future of your child. As we began talking with parents who have older children, we wanted to know what was there after school, what was after graduation out of high school, what did the future look like? And a lot of parents, it was the same general answer. They had a job, they tried to find a job, no one would hire them, a job didn't work out, or people didn't know how to work with them. So our brains and wheels started turning, like, okay, how how can we help? What can we do? And we had an organization, we had a following for our event, and we started brainstorming on how we could transition to bring something new to the area. So we started doing research around the country. We found coffee shops, and there were a couple of cafes and restaurants in the U.S. And one we found in McKinney, Texas, called Hugs Cafe, really kind of spoke to us. We're like, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to bring to Mississippi. We reached out to them. We happened to have a friend getting married in the Dallas area. So we decided to do a road trip to McKinney, Texas while we're in the area, visit them, see what they do. And, we're like, this is it. This is what we want to do. We brainstormed names, came up with the lily pad. Like I said, we transitioned our fundraising about 2015 or so, 2016 to start raising money for the future lily pad. And that was our only fundraiser. So over the years, we've only had our 5K event to fundraise. Then, it became official. The Lily Pad Foundation became an official 501c3 in 2019. And we had already had in our minds that in the 2020 event, we were going to kick off our capital campaign. We were in the process of searching for property, searching for a building, trying to figure out, okay, what's the best solution? And about 2019, we kept coming back to the location I'm currently sitting in. And 2020 hit, everybody knows what happened in 2020. Our event in March was the first weekend that all events were shut down after being over a certain amount. So we switched to virtual. We delayed our capital campaign. We signed by faith and, believing that this is what we were supposed to be doing. In the summer of 2020, we signed a contract that we were purchasing this building, hoping to raise the money to cover the purchase and be able to do renovations. And we kicked off our capital campaign in September of 2020. And by the love of the community, the support we've been shown over the past few years, the community just opened their arms and have opened their doors and, donations. And 2 weeks before we closed on the building in December of 2020, we were able to purchase the building in full with no loan, no, having to borrow what we thought we would have to borrow from the people we purchased the building from. And then we shifted to raising money for renovations and operational costs. And it's been amazing to see just the community get behind us and have faith in us, and just knowing how big of a need this is in our community. It's, we want to build multiple things. It's not just employing individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We want to work with them, train them, give them the opportunity, but they're in a setting where when you walk through our doors, you know who we're training, you know who we're working with, you understand what we're doing. You're coming in to give them hands-on experience, to give them moral support, and, build relationships. The goal is maybe you meet someone here who's being trained, and once they graduate, they move to another restaurant or another business, you go visit them. You build a connection and you go visit them and follow them wherever they go. So our goal is also to build relationships and then get the community involved, but also partner with all these businesses and, not just restaurants, but partner with them and say, this is what these individuals can do. How can we employ them, but how can we help transition them, but help you get the tools you need so that they can work for you? And just, making it show more awareness and more inclusion, but just giving them the opportunity. We are still in renovation stages because of COVID. And because of the way we're doing this as a nonprofit and people are helping us by donating services or materials, plus the law or the backlog of materials, and that challenge that unless you're building something, people don't understand the supply chain. And so we are still in the renovation stages right now, but we are also in the planning stages of making sure we have our hiring processes and our training program. We're working with some special education teachers, some therapists, and different people, just trying to make sure, we're taking a training guide for restaurants, but trying to translate it to make it meet the needs of individuals we'll work with. And of course, it'll change as we hire people and bring them in the training program. So because we know everyone is different, no matter, if you go in for a certain job, things change as you try to learn them. But our goal, so we're still doing all of those behind the scene things at the moment. We're hoping to be open later this year, at least for the training part. Whether we're open fully to the public or not, that is still a question, but our goal is to be open by later this year, to at least start hiring in the training process. And we will, so our goal is we're going to be a table service restaurant. So our goal is to train them on taking orders, making the food, waiting on individuals. So we're trying to, include those occupational skills, the speech, skills, and trying to hone in on each person's individual personality and train them where their skill sets. Somebody may not be people facing. They may be better in a kitchen setting or in a catering setting. So we don't want to put people where they're not comfortable, but also, make sure people are aware that this is still going to function as a restaurant. We're still going to be dealing with food and, have people come in, and there is going to be noise. So you're just trying to, keep an open mind. But as of right now, we are not currently open. We are in the renovation stages at the moment. Had been contacted by several of the school districts about being part of their transition programs, but instead of biting off more than we can chew per se, we are not going to plan on starting that off right the bat until we get our system in place and our training process in place. But that is a goal, a future goal of the Lily Pad, is to work with the school districts. Because I know when COVID happened, a lot of the locations where they brought people in to get skills and, get job learning skills, a lot of places shut their doors to them, and they were wanting us to be a location. But like I said, that will probably be a future item on our list, not in the initial opening stages. We have, so we don't currently have a phone number, but we do have a website. TheLilyPadMS.com is our website. We also have Facebook and Instagram. There's information. I know we're in the process of updating some of the status images on our website, but we do keep an update. We try to do progress posts on our Facebook just so people can see where, where we're at, what stages we're at in the renovations, and they can see, where we've come from. But we also have, as part of our capital campaign we kicked off in 2020, we did where we sell bricks and pavers. And I know we do have our bricks and pavers just got laid over the past couple of weeks, and we still have a few getting made, but I know we still have availability of some of those. So if, you want to make a donation, but you want to leave your mark and see, like in memory of someone or in honor of an individual, you can do that. And I can, I'll try to do a rough tour and kind of show you where we're at, but also you can see the progress of the patio and also see where, where we're at with that. Okay, so I'm going to give you a glimpse of where we're at from the outside and inside. I'm going to do a quick outside since I think they're about to do a little bit more work. But this is the outside of the Lily Pad. So it's both of these buildings. The upper section is dining, and that is not our main entrance. The main entrance is where you see some work being done on the sidewalk. And we also have this patio, but this is where we're located at 111 North Wheatley Street in Ridgeland. I said in the heart of Old Town Ridgeland. We bought the former M7 coffee house. So this is show you, we spoke about the capital campaign. Like I said, there's more work being done. So they're going to be leveling out this sidewalk to meet up with our patio. So it'll be wheelchair accessible. So right now, so we did our capital campaign where we did brick and paver sponsorships. And as you can see, this is where we're at. You can see the bricks and pavers that have been sponsored, and the fountain we've added, and we'll have some additional signage out here. We will have outdoor patio seating here as well, and we will have picnic tables. We're excited. We will have picnic tables that are side access for wheelchair access, so it won't be at the end of the table. We are having them involved and included as part of the conversation than the typical ADA picnic tables. And I'm going to walk in here, so you will enter through this front door, and we will have a hostess stand over here to the right. Like I said, we are still in renovation stages, but a lot has happened in this older building that you can't see the fruits of the labor per se. We have added a lot of electrical to this building, a lot of plumbing, and HVAC system as far as what has been redone. So we will have lower dining right here. There will be tables in the lower dining room. We have our counter service area here. In this empty space missing, we will have some ice cream. We have a merchandiser here. A lot of things as far as costs that helped us. We all of our kitchen equipment, minus a few things, have been donated. They have not arrived yet to the building because we're still in renovation stages, but we won a kitchen makeover. So all of our kitchen equipment, minus one or two items, was completely donated brand new. So that helped a lot in our budget. We're going to come up here to the upper dining room areas. And if you're not familiar, if you know this building, you know what's been done. This is our upper dining room. We've added the banquette seating that was not here before. The floors are going to be getting redone. This was our biggest renovation area. This right here used to be a zigzag hallway with two very tiny bathrooms. So we gutted this entire section and made better use of the space. We moved the hot water heater outside and the HVAC system upstairs. So now we have two large bathrooms that look just like this. And they both have a changing station in them as well. So there's a changing station in both restrooms. But this was our biggest renovation part, was the two bathrooms, and everything else has really stayed the same as far as the layout. Then we also have a private room in here that can be closed off and rented out. Our goal is to, if we want to have a private meeting or a party, this room can be rented out as well. We've had some work done on the porches as well, all new railings and porch access as well. Like I said, a lot of electrical work, that's all brand new. As far as seeing how much we've had to add, it is an older building, so that's kind of where a lot of the things that have been done to date have been the electrical, the plumbing, HVAC, and now we're just trying to get in the finishing stages of all the cosmetic stuff. And let me show you. The fountain looks a little different, but this is the rendering of, what we saw outside. That's the architectural renderings. Like I said, you saw the fountains just a little bit different, but that was also, we're trying to watch our budget. We're trying to work, we still have a fountain because we have a fountain sponsor, but we don't need to break the bank to get one, and trying to just be responsible with funds, because whatever funds we save and don't spend on renovations will help go to operational costs once we open. Like I said, you can see that we'll have our fridge and freezer here. But like, this is a brand new electrical panel box. All of this electricity wasn't here. So that's how much work had to be done for the kitchen, for things we're bringing in that were not existing when we purchased the building. And this will be an employee access door. So, and then we'll also be, at some point, the parking lot in the back will get paved, and then that'll all be graded out and make it easy access for coming out here. And you can see our neighbors. If you're familiar with the Mustard Seed, they purchased the building next door to us for a second location, a gift shop location, but also they use it as a drop-off point for their day Seasters. Instead of parents driving over to Brandon, the parents are able to come here and drop the Seedsters off, and they get shuttled to the Brandon location. So we're right next door to the Mustard Seed second gift shop location. Well, thank you for taking the time to learn about the lily pad, and please be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram so you can see our progress and watch for an opening date. Like I said, we're hoping to open later this year to begin our training program, but please keep a watch out on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you for giving me your time, and have a great day.
Thank you, Kristen, so much for joining me today and sharing this wonderful information. And I cannot wait for the Lily Pad Cafe to open to see what wonderful things are in store for this organization and the community and everyone will be able to help.